So y'all, as I mentioned, this is your girl Kiara Washington, and instead of me spending all this time really trying to give you a bunch of details on life updates, I really want to talk about something that I believe people who come to my channel want to hear. Okay, so I want to talk about how I have gone from being in cellular sales on the consumer side to business side, how I've moved from banking, and then how I've moved from banking into insurance sales. Okay, all of these different careers are different, but at the same time hold very principal values on how you can really navigate in your career. Okay, and I'll be honest with you all, none of these moves that I've made have been mistakes. Okay, every single move I've made has been me calculating my career on how to navigate to live my life on the best terms for myself, right? And so I want to just take a few moments just to kind of break down what I've kind of learned on a high level from every single career, okay? Because here's the deal. I say this all the time, but me working in cellular sales, working for Verizon Consumer, and then moving over to Verizon Business, I also had a short stint at AT&T and Spectrum. What I will say is these are the jobs that really helped me to be able to navigate and hone my sales skills, okay? I did not have all this college education. I did not have all of this other additional formal education after high school, but these are the jobs that really allowed me into the workforce and really be able to navigate this industry. So what I would say, and like I told you, I got notes here, so I'll be looking at them, okay? I'm gonna tell you, when I was in cellular sales, here are a couple of things I learned, and I think that these things will be very helpful for you if you're going into cellular sales. What cellular sales really taught me was a couple of things. I would say the main thing I learned first would be the psychology of people, right? Learning how people buy, why they buy, what's the emotional attachment or thing that's happening inside of them when they decide to purchase, okay? And people purchase for different reasons. People have different reasons for why they buy. In addition to that, I also learned that people want to feel like they're buying, not that they're being sold to. If you can take it upon yourself, and this is something that I really learned very well at Verizon, at AT&T, and Spectrum, etc. If you can learn a product inside and out, and when I say inside and out, I mean learn some key features about a product, and you can position how this product will make said individual's life better. You are then showing features and benefits. You are then showing value. And if you can show a prospective buyer value, they are more inclined to want to know more, and they're more inclined to purchase because they are imagining how this thing will fit into their life. I would also say a couple of other skills I've learned that cellular sales on consumer and business taught me was this. Move in a mindset where you assume that people will buy. I think sometimes as individuals, and this is probably something a lot of us struggle with, the majority of people struggle with, sometimes we create our own biases on people's looks, their aesthetics, what we think of them, and maybe even down to how they're dressed. We may think that certain individuals may not have money, or we try to count their pockets for them. I will share this with you, and this is going to help you, okay? Never assume what people have. You never know, okay? Especially when it comes to, as you start to work with all different types of people, like as you begin to work in certain sales, like sales in general, I'm going to say sales in general, never assume, because there were business owners who looked literally like the average working person and they were millionaires. So you never know who's who. So never try to guess what people have in their pockets, okay? So I would say that. So moving forward, I went into banking. Now my banking stint was short, okay? I'll be honest. If y'all don't know anything about me, but I'm gonna gladly say this. I'm a habitual job hopper. And I don't make excuse for that, because I am the type of individual where if something is not working for me and I believe that I've gotten all that I can get from said company or industry, I'm moving on. And I'll talk about this in another video down the line as I continue to post. You have to make sure your job is paying you in more than one way. And when I say this, I simply mean this. What are the skills that you're learning from said employer, from said job, from said industry that you can take with you to the next place? I am a firm believer that one should never go into any career and just get the paycheck. Get the paycheck for sure. Get the money, because the money matters. So get the money, but also gain the knowledge, gain the skill. Even if it's just you're learning how to interview better. You know what I'm saying? Like, even if it's just that, take those skills and utilize them so that you can ask for more money, so that you can get the promotion, so that you can navigate and pivot into different industries, because it matters, okay? Now, in banking, I wasn't in banking long. I was in banking for about 8 or 9 months. And what I will say, a couple of key things I learned in banking. Banking really showed me how to understand compliance, because if you ever worked in banking, or you know anybody who's worked in banking, banking is very compliance heavy. So you've got to learn quality, you've got to learn compliance, you've got to learn regulations. All of these things are very nuanced. Banking was very, very, very nuanced. But what I will say, in addition to learning these things, what it did was it helped me to slow down, and it helped me to realize that I needed to not always know all of the answers. I just needed to know where to go to find the answers. So in short, banking helped me to become a more resourceful person in any industry I decided to go into. And lastly, I will say this. I just recently got into insurance. Now, let me just say this before I close this video out. Insurance, no matter what type of insurance you're doing, life, property and casualty, annuities, life and health, Medicare, doesn't matter, okay? Insurance in general is somewhat similar to banking because it's very compliance heavy. It's a lot of regulations, it's a lot of information. But this skill is the type of skill that once you learn and you get the basics, like for example, you get licensed in one state, which is the state you live in, which they call your resident state. Once you get that certification and that licensing, you're able to get licensed in multiple states because you have the base knowledge. And it's one of those careers that I'm learning, even though I'm relatively new in it. I'm learning that if you are willing to go through the certifications, get the licenses, take the exams, invest in yourself, because let me tell you this, there are so many exams to take. There are so many certifications to get. Depending on the carriers that you're selling, if you're not captive to a company, meaning you don't just work for one, say a company, for example, a Geico, a State Farm, a Progressive, a New York Life. You're not captive to one company, you work for a brokerage company, you're needing to get certifications for multiple companies, maybe like Cigna, Humana, you know, your New York Life. You're able to get all of these different certifications from multiple carriers. So in insurance, what I'm learning is you've got to be one of those people where you got to be resourceful, but you have got to be the type of person where you have to seek out information. But once you have that skill down pat, you're able to get in there and you're able to really navigate. And so my hope and my desire for anybody who comes across my content is, if you are looking to rebuild your life and you are really looking to try to navigate in your career path, understand this: you do not owe it to any industry that you're in to stay if it's not serving you. If you truly believe that it's time for you to navigate and move on, understand that first of all, you have more inside of you than you think you do, number one. Number two, it's really about taking skills that you've learned from every employer over the years and putting it into the next place that you go into, okay? So I've enjoyed speaking to you all. I really, really hope that this video has helped somebody, even if it's just, you know, something very, very simple. But just keep an eye out, y'all, because I will be creating more content over the next week and weeks to come, okay? So once again, my name is Kiara Washington, and I'm so excited to be back. I hope you all enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace.